over the past few years, I've been working on a seminary degree, and I am ready for it to end. I take online classes, and this summer, one of my classes covered the philosophy of Christian teaching. It really has been a privilege to take seminary, but during this course in particular, I learned about a fairly well-known Greek philosopher named Plato, which is interesting. He's like so brilliant, but his name is Plato. And in children's ministry, kids play with Play-Doh, but go figure. And there's this allegory known as Plato's Cave that I think offers a powerful perspective for our Advent topic today, the greatest salvation imaginable. But before we get to that, settle back in your chair or your couch and enjoy this allegory, Plato's Cave, with me. Plato tells a story. Some prisoners are chained inside of a cave, facing the back wall. Behind them is a fire, with people passing in front of it. The prisoners cannot turn their heads and have always been chained in this way. All they can see, and hear for that matter, are shadows passing back and forth and the echoes bouncing off of the walls in front of them. One day, a prisoner is freed and dragged outside of the cave. He is blinded by the light and confused, and resists being led outside. But eventually his eyes adjust so that he is able to see the things around him, and even the sun itself. He comes to realize that the things he thought were real were merely shadows of real things. And that life outside the cave is far better than his previous life in chains. Pretty fascinating allegory. Now, for today's Bible verse from Jeremiah 31:31, leading our discussion. Behold, the days are coming, declares the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah. I'm not sure how familiar you are with the Old Testament covenant, but simply stated, it was bloody and complicated. Israel was promised a Messiah, a Savior that would one day fulfill the old covenant given by God and remove the need for sacrificing animals to atone for sin. Our devotional summarizes this so well, and John Piper writes this: He, being Jesus, would replace shadows with the reality of the Messiah, and he would powerfully move into our lives and write his will on our heart so that we would not be constrained from the outside, but are willing from the inside to love him, to trust him, and to follow him. Do you see the connection here? It might be a stretch, but our life before Christ, before we surrender everything to him, and the Spirit of God comes to dwell in us, we're like prisoners in Plato's cave. Our only understanding of a life without sin and death is merely a shadow on the wall. And we've been looking at those shadows for so long in our sinful state, separated from God, that we'd rather stay in the cave with our shadows than experience the fullness of life, the greatest salvation imaginable. And this, it's all because of fear and pride, just core sins in our hearts. Don't miss the wonder of Christmas by trading Christ for the shadows that this world has to offer. Jesus is the greatest gift imaginable. Merry Christmas.